Welcome to Dick Storks and Destinies. I'm here with my friends Ken, the Kid, and Crash, and today we're going to try to talk about supernatural creatures again and not get sidetracked like we did on the last episode.
Oof.
But all's well that ends well.
Yeah, we're gonna try to stick to supernatural creatures this time instead of talking about the weird shit and haunted shit that we've come across in our own personal lives.
Just remember, folks, if you see Crash or Chapel's ass start glittering in the sunlight,
Whoa!
they might be a vampire.
Oh no! Fuck no!
That would
no.
definitely.
Hey, quit talking about the kid's favorite movie.
Yeah, Twilight is not fucking vampires,
or werewolves.
right?
Oh, Edward.
Ooh, Jacob.
Touch my
You
body.
two said that. You two said that shit so well. I'm pretty sure y'all are fans.
Oh, not as much as you are.
They got posters
I
hanging
am-
up in their room.
I am
I
far.
can safely say that I have not seen any of those movies, only the trailers.
I
well-
unfortunately can say that I was forced to watch some of one until I was making commentary so much that I was told to leave.
And, I can't say the same. Unfortunately, I've seen those films.
Yeah,
I
we
got
knew you
death
liked
stares in the movie theater,
it. What were you doing?
laughing at the kid's mom.
I remember that.
Yeah, she is a fucking diehard fan when it comes to Twilight.
And she was animated, and I was laughing because I was like, I've never seen anybody watch a movie like that. And the theater was packed, so, they didn't take too kindly.
I get
Yeah.
this impression of the kid's mom watching that movie like the way we watch football games.
Oh, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You know, the best way to describe it is, those fans of like sporting events of football, baseball, shit like that get super excited about plays,
Yeah, I know.
or the guys, or most of us in this group of podcastees have watched wrestling and enjoy watching wrestling, and those super fans that get super excited and pumped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my mom.
I mean, she sounds, well, okay. So, like, I yell at the TV and stuff when I'm watching my team play. But here's the thing. Anyone who's ever sat down and watched one of these games with me will know that I don't yell and cheer about the plays. I'm screaming at my team about how poorly they're playing when they do something stupid.
I was trying to think of a section,
Yeah,
but nothing.
that's my mom, but she's not just yelling and screaming about people doing shit stupid. It's the excitement.
Unfortunately, my commentary on people doing stupid things has moved into the cinema area. And I don't go to the movies that often anymore, mainly because
You can get it on the streaming service within a couple
yeah,
weeks.
well, there's that. And the last time I went and did commentary on a movie, I got some fairly angry looks from a bunch of people. And
You made commentary on the newest Disney Star Wars
oh,
films,
hell
didn't
no.
you?
I didn't give Disney my money. Fuck Disney. They ruined Star Wars. What? Look, we'll have a whole 4-5 part podcast on Disney Star Wars, okay? But not today.
Okay.
No, what I ruined was Hereditary. I went and saw that movie, and I found it very predictable. I knew what was going to happen
I have not seen that film, nor have I heard of it until now.
Exactly. Hereditary.
Same guy that
Who's
same
in
guy
it?
that did Midsommar. You guys seen the Babadook?
No.
I
Okay,
have.
the mom for the Babadook is in Hereditary. She plays the mom in that movie too. It's A24 Films. They've been doing a lot of like really popular horror films over the last few years.
Oh, well, the last film I had any commentary on, period, was the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, and the scene of where Michael gets the long-haired guy with glasses with the butcher knife and pins him to the wall by pushing it straight through his chest and his heart.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last episode. Okay, I'm saying it here. I'm going to put a poll on the podcast. Yes or no to our listeners. Do you want to hear me react to watching the Twilight movies? Yes or no?
We need a bunch of yeses.
You only get one vote.
I see a lot of fake profiles made.
Fuck you.
Do what?
You only get one vote.
All right, well, you
that
know,
profile gets one vote.
right. Doesn't mean I'm not going to create 15 other profiles.
I just have to get a bunch of emails.
I don't think you two have the inclination or the energy to do any of that.
Oh, but I do. You forget. I have nothing but time to kill on the road.
That's okay. I'm not going to complain about 30 new subscribers.
From the same person.
I don't care if it's from the
Right.
same person. Spotify's not paying attention to that. And we're so small at this point, 30 subscribers isn't really going to matter. Okay, so getting to our first subject, let's just go ahead and put the nail in the coffin in this one and bring up vampires.
Okay, vampires. Everything in cinematic history minus Twilight.
Yeah, Dracula dead and loving it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I will count everything in cinematic history minus Twilight as vampires.
Question. Wasn't there like a spoof movie about vampires where like Liam Neeson played or not Liam Neeson,
Yeah, that was Dracula dead and loving it.
was that
Yeah.
okay.
You're talking about the guy from the Naked Gun films?
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, that's exactly what Crash is talking about. Dracula dead and loving it.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was right. Oh, so wait, how do you guys feel about Blackula?
I mean, that goes right into the same thing of the old fuck. I can't remember the name of the film. Vampire in Brooklyn, I think was the name of the film, and I think Eddie Murphy played the vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the early Jim Carrey movie where like
Once Bitten.
Once Bitten? Yeah.
Yeah. My
No,
wife
I've
watches
not
that.
seen it.
It was interesting the first time I watched it, mostly because I was trying to watch a comedy horror from like the late 80s, early 90s, something like that.
Yeah. Then you had the newest one, Renfield, which I fell asleep during.
Yeah.
I actually watched Renfield, but I couldn't take it seriously with Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
I don't think the point was to take it seriously. I mean, it's Nicolas Cage.
I mean, I saw some of the wokeness in it, and I couldn't take it seriously after that point. He comes in, he's having a therapy session, which is, honestly, that's a really good premise for like a a vampire film where like the vampire servant is like going to therapy for all the bullshit he has to do. That was really cool. But then they started, you just watch the scene and you're like, no, like I can't take this seriously anymore. It's kind of like watching a Native American run out and jump and transform into a wolf and a bunch of leaves falling off of him, and he's like, bark, bark, I'm a fucking werewolf, and you just gotta go, I'm not sure if I could take this seriously anymore.
You sure you haven't seen the movies?
That was in the commercials.
I mean, he's describing these films quite well. I mean,
He paid too close attention to the commercials.
I did pay a
For
lot of
something-
attention. Listen,
for something he didn't want to see.
listen.
we got a closet fan on us.
I pay attention to the commercials to figure out whether it's something I want to watch or not. And I could see garbage from a mile away.
Hey, we hadn't seen him in a
you
while,
have
so
to
he
look
probably
a
got
mile
the
away, just
tattoos.
look at your entryway.
With everything that you were just talking about with Renfield, though, the part that got me was the Quentin Tarantino-esque Kill Bill blood pressure over 9,000.
That would be my favorite parts of the film. That's why I love the Dusk Till Dawn movies.
Yeah.
Dusk Till Dawn movies were actually pretty solid, though. I think anyone could admit that. For what they was pretty solid.
Yeah,
To a degree, they were pretty solid. I'll give you that one.
Well, they were also Tarantino's like first couple of films. I know it's the first one was. I know that was definitely Tarantino.
Yeah, that definitely was. I know the show was from Dusk Till Dawn show was based around his work, but he didn't have a role in it.
I mean, to be honest with you, one of my favorite vampire films of all time is John Carpenter's Vampires.
Yeah, I gave you that one. That one's solid.
I just like James Woods' character in that film.
It's not by all means, it's not well, no, actually, I would say one of my most favorite movies. And some people may disagree, but I genuinely liked Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire was a good film. It kept closer to Anne Rice's novels.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Queen of the Dam was a great film.
I have yet to watch that one.
But it did not keep anywhere near close to the novels. In fact, it mashed two novels together.
It skipped a whole fucking novel. Well,
it skipped a novel.
It skipped most of a novel.
It skipped most of both novels, both The Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned. Because it was mashed up between Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned.
Yeah, it was. They took the ending of the Vampire Lestat and the beginning of of Queen of the Damned, and then kind of like cut out the middle of Queen of the Damned, and then just stuck the ending onto it, from what I understand.
Well, the ending of the film, the way that film ends, is not how it ends in the book. Akasha is not killed by the whole group. She's actually killed by the two twins that her former king and husband created, which you see one of the twins in the film, and that's Maharet.
Giggity. Twins.
The other twin is
calm down, Austin.
No, her name is Macaire, and in one sequence in the film, Macaire literally comes in and just like wholeheartedly just like knocks Akasha's head clean off her body.
Okay. So, like with me, vampires, I've always enjoyed vampires. I've got, let me think. I did enjoy the Queen of the Damned. I also enjoyed like the early Interview with the Vampire. I don't like this new one that they've made, but the one with
the TV series.
Yeah, the TV series. I'm not liking it. I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, they've changed so much about the TV series. So I mean,
I I enjoyed the '90s Interview with the Vampire with Cruise and Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But like when I think of like horror vampire movies, 30 Days of Night, that's my go-to.
30 Days of Night is a good horror
That's
vampire film.
that one
It
is
also happens
solid.
to be my wife's favorite.
That one was Alaskan vampires, wasn't it?
No, they were Russian vampires, but they were in Alaska.
That's right.
They were a nomadic Russian tribe,
Yep.
and they went to Alaska just for the fact that of the complete blackout.
Yeah.
Right, where
For
they
30
could actually
days.
roam freely for a month and do whatever the hell they wanted.
just snacking on whatever humans happen to stay in the
See,
town.
now that is the idea of you get this like coven of vampires and they're like, hey, I'm really thinking about going on vacation. Oh yeah, where are you thinking of going? Let's go to Alaska for a month. Oh, sick.
Why are we going to go to Alaska? It's because they have no sun for that entire month.
And it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. No one's gonna come out there.
Great, great idea.
I also thought it was a really nice take on vampires, because normally you always see vampires always dressed real richly and stuff, and they always act like they feel different temperatures, but a vampire wouldn't feel different temperatures. They wouldn't get cold or care about it being cold.
No, because they're dead. Yeah, I mean they're dead.
Mm.
They have no feeling left.
Um
And the only reason a vampire doesn't deteriorate and rot is because of the fact that they keep consuming warm blood, so it keeps circulating as best it can through their body.
right. And the cold would also mitigate that deterioration.
Exactly.
I
mean, you've got that, and then I'm going to admit to this one because I actually watched the entire series. Can't believe I got conned into watching the entire series. True Blood.
I've heard good and bad things about True Blood, but I've also heard that about the originals and what was that other one?
Okay.
True Blood is basically softcore porn with vampires.
Yeah, virtually. And then they spoof off to werewolves and witches and fairies.
Werewolves,
and
witches, fairies, shapeshifters,
Well,
fae.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. If you're going to have vampires, why wouldn't the rest of that just not exist in that world anyway?
Okay, so kid, at least give you
Yeah.
this. Okay, so yes, show definitely softcore porn. However, I would say seasons 1 and 2, which were really the only ones I actually invested any time in, it was solid. Like the Loric factor, looking past all the extra, the everyone's just trying to fuck each other. Loric wise, it was solid. Like it showed all of these different covens and these different vampires from different ages, and showed how they survived and progressed as being a vampire over all their years of life.
Yeah, I like that part, plus the whole thing of the sire bonds between the vampire and those that he or she created.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it didn't matter how old a vampire, or actually it didn't matter how powerful the vampire was, it was more about their age than anything.
Right. Like what was the one's name? Elric? Was that
Godric,
Godric,
the one that created Eric. Yeah.
Yes, Godric.
Godric was like over like
he
was
was
like over 3,000 years old.
Right. But he wasn't respected for his power. He was respected because he survived that long.
I think he was, the way they depicted him in the show, he was from the Aztec nation.
Right. Yeah. And he's just literally ancient to everything else.
And then he turned Eric, and Eric was a Viking.
Yep. Yep. And then Bill Compton was from Civil
Civil
War,
War.
wasn't he? Yep. Yep. He was a
Yep.
Civil War man. So, and you got to see like aspects between all of these. And granted, they altered how they acted over time, but yet a lot of them still held their certain parts of their roots. Like Bill Compton, he was still being a horrifying monster, he was still very like upkept because
Yeah.
he was a soldier in the Civil War.
Oh,
So he was very, and he
I'll
was
also
Southern.
give. I'll also give. Yeah, I'll also give the show props on something as well, because this show was the way it was set was the world after vampires were discovered, and they openly admitted that they were vampires, and they were trying to peacefully coexist among human beings.
Mm-hmm. Granted, yeah, there's a lot of
So,
opposition, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who are like, okay, I mean, it's horrifying to know that, my best friend is, either could have been this and now they're eating people, but,
So I'll give the show that. I mean, aside from the softcore porn aspects, it was actually a pretty decent show.
yeah, I did appreciate the loric value of how they were trying to spin off vampires from different ages. I did appreciate that.
And now Chapo mentioned a couple of other shows that I've seen. The Vampire Diaries being, well, I haven't seen all of Vampire Diaries. I have, however, seen all of the originals. Kind of like the originals over the Vampire Diaries, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I've actually heard that between the two of those,
Well, I mean,
the Vampire Diaries is
the
the
Vampire
lesser of the
Diaries
two.
is basically about a couple of brothers from a very specific town in, I think it's either in Virginia or West Virginia. Now, these brothers have ties because of the sire bonds and everything else and the sire lines to the original vampire family. And that's what the originals is about the original vampire family who, go figure, were Nordic. And their mother was a witch. She cast a spell to make them all immortal, to keep them from dying because the youngest sibling died to a werewolf attack.
Boy, they're trying to put the nail on the Nordic gods, aren't they?
And with that, they spend their life running away from their immortal father who's trying to kill them all. So, and I mean,
Well, that sounds familiar.
the lore-wise of the show, a wooden stake will kill every other vampire except for the original family. The original family has to have a wooden stake from a specific tree.
Okay.
And to prevent from, after I think one or two of their brothers gets killed by that type of stake, to prevent anybody else from dying, they destroyed every fucking tree that was of that type.
We don't need these trees no more. They're useless. Okay.
So my favorite form of vampire actually comes from a book series called Necroscope.
Which, by the way,
that hands down. So what?
I said, which, by the way, it should not be read by all ages. Just saying.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely for adults. It's not for children. which this podcast is not for children. So if you're a child, what are you doing listening to this? What the hell, man?
We've all played
Well,
Call
I
of
mean-
Duty, old school Black Ops servers. They know what they're doing. Come on.
Are you 18? Yes, I am.
Yup.
We've
Are
all
you
done
are
that.
you 18? Yes, I am.
Okay, here you go.
The preceding minutes after the first minute will be $1.99 charge.
Wait, what?
Why do I have a
I was
$900
listening to
phone bill?
podcasts, Ma.
I swear. Okay, so from here, moving on
Alright.
to werewolves.
I feel like, especially between, I could very much be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, especially in the cinematic field, werewolves did not get, like, nearly as much attention. There's,
No,
You're
no
right.
and werewolves got a lot of attention, but nowhere near
Werewolves
as
got
much.
attention, but they have not gotten as much attention like vampires have. So there's in the cinematic world, there's not much that we can really pick and choose. Other than, you can refer to about vampires. Twilight does not count for werewolves.
Man, somebody's cutting in and out.
yeah.
You are roboting
There's
out.
gonna be a lot of editing.
Nope. I'm gonna let our listeners listen to him robot out and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the hell did he say? To which I'm
Can
gonna
you all
translate.
hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
go
said,
ahead.
As
Yeah, we
far
can
as
hear
the
you now.
werewolves go, yes, you two are correct. They did not get a lot of cinema showtime. But, however,
They did get
reference
Michael J.
point
Fox.
A when it came to vampires. Twilight does not count for werewolves either.
I would say if they got a biggest referencing in anything, it would probably be in the Underworld movies, if I'm being honest. Like they were, because they weren't
Yeah.
they weren't just vilified either. Like they usually always are. Because I noticed that's the biggest pattern, and especially in werewolf scenarios, they're always just vilified. However, you really look at the factor of contracting lycanthropy. It's not like they really have a choice in the matter of when they, for a better word of saying, hulk out, because it's a primal instinct. They lose all sense of mental thought process. It's not until they get older and actually survive as a werewolf that they start being able to hold their mentality a little bit more.
See, that's the thing where you were talking about them being vilified as the villains and everything else. The thing that has irritated me the most from all Hollywood films is anytime that they depict vampires and werewolves in the same film, they're always fighting each other like they're natural born enemies.
Right. And I guess in a true matter of sense, I don't understand why. I mean, sure,
The only
if you get a
the only thing I
werewolf that
can
attacks
credit to
them-
that with that, the only thing I can credit to that would be they're both alpha species of predatory races, so they're competing over a food source. But
right, but that's
wiping
no
out the
need
food
for-
source, there's not really a reason for them to fucking be mortal enemies.
Right, exactly. I mean, and the factor of it all is if they really, in reality, the world is how big, so you can just, okay, well, we're going to go over here and eat this source. This is going to become our area. That over there can be your area. And then they just don't cross paths unless one of them's feeling bold or stupid. and think that they're big man on campus, but then they're alone in the wrong turf.
Yeah.
That being said, I really enjoyed this, and this tells my age way back in the fucking day. The Ginger Snap
Ginger
series.
Snap series.
I don't think any of us are catching on to what you're dropping there, Chapel. If you're
It's actually it's a couple movies. The first one's pretty good. Everything after the first one was B rated or lower. So it's about a pair of high school sisters, and one of them's bitten by a werewolf and is slowly becoming a werewolf over time, and her sister's just trying to keep her under control.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. I mean, if you're talking about showing age, then two films come to mind when it comes to werewolves. And they're both technically under the same branch. And then that is The American Werewolf in London and The American Werewolf in Paris.
couldn't tell you, I saw Wolfman.
I've seen both of those. Yeah, I've seen the original and the remake. Of
The one I probably saw was the remake, but that one seemed pretty solid for a werewolf movie. No, definitely.
What was it in
wasn't.
black and white? Okay, then yeah, it's the remake. I think you're talking about the one with Benicio del
Yes.
Toro and
Yes.
Anthony Hopkins.
That one was
Yeah.
still solid.
Yeah, that's the
you know.
remake.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not opposed to watching black
Yeah,
and
I
white
liked it.
films. I mean, I used to watch old westerns all the time, and that was solely only in black and white, and the sound effects were just god awful, but worth a watch.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
No, yeah. The factor that werewolves are just vilified and everything, and they always have to. I always notice, like, vampire versus the vampires. You always see movies where the vampire, like, at least one of them will end up winning. In the very end, where it's like, yeah, I survived, and now the story goes on. But a werewolf, nope. It's the ending. We finally killed it. It's dead. It's gone. We took care of it. Why? Why does it have to be that way? Because the factor of it is, you really don't know jack squat about them.
No, I mean, there's one film that I've seen trailer clips and movie clips of that I kind of make me want to watch this movie, and it is a werewolf movie. It is called Dog Soldiers.
Oh, I've seen that one. That's one of the very few sci-fi films that was actually really, really good. Yeah, Dog Soldiers was
You know, they
fucking
did
awesome.
something. I don't know if it's similar. Chapel, you might know. Love, Death, and Robots did an episode about.
Yes. I know it.
Yep, about those two soldiers that had the like werewolf-like capabilities.
They were werewolves.
Yeah, yeah.
They were exactly what I just said with the film. They were called Dog Soldiers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were put out in the front of the front line to sniff out bombs and people that were, snipers and shit and everything else.
Because
and
they
in
were the
that
only ones
episode,
capable.
they come across in that episode the larger of the two soldiers. When I say larger, I'm not talking about height wise. He was actually fatter.
Yeah.
Was guarding a base because he was put on duty there, and they were attacked in the middle of the night by a set of werewolves from that country.
Yep, from the enemy lines.
And
Yeah.
they went out on patrol to find the werewolves that did it. The one soldier knew sniffed him out before they sniffed him out, and didn't say anything. And then when they came to attack the camp that he was in, he was waiting for them. So yeah, I liked that episode quite well.
Yeah, that one was an extremely well sci-fi-ish, modernistic take on like what a fully fledged werewolf would be capable of. Because the thing is that's the other thing. A lot of people don't really go into the aspects of what a person that has lycanthropy would be like when they're not transformed. Like, most of the time they're like, oh, well, they're stupid, they're just people. No, I really feel like that they would still have the canine capabilities of their other form.
They would
Just
they
being human.
even though that they're not in the were form or the werewolf form, just like you, I feel the same, that they would continue to have the canine aspects of it, the heightened sense of smell, the acute hearing,
The ability to see in darker statuses and stuff like that.
the low visibility, low light visibility, they would be able to see better in. Although, from all the cinematic that we've seen of werewolves, some, I mean, it's Hollywood, so I can't really be that angry or anything else about it. But the costume designers really need to go back and rethink what they were creating.
Honestly, okay, so we've been talking about cinematics a lot, but I'd like to at least drop the name of a game series that I think does justice to just about every supernatural and loric creature out there. That would be the Witcher series.
No, at least you went to.
Yeah, I feel that's
I
fair.
was waiting for another one, but you said The Witcher, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just because, you take a look at, and even the books, honestly. The books do it justice. I would say there are certain aspects of the show, like especially the more early on seasons of the show, that did it justice because they followed really closely to the books. But the video game series, definitely, you could read up on them, like weaknesses, what they're capable of in both forms, all forms, the different types, the breeds, like everything. They actually took the time to envelop all of these
Yeah, well,
things.
with the TV show, I'm pretty sure, the writers, the director, the producer had some input to it, but I'm actually going to give most of the credit to them keeping to the books like that
Yep,
from one actor and one actor alone,
Henry.
and that's Henry Cavill,
Yep, because he would
because
only
he is
do
a
the series.
huge fucking nerd.
Yep, he said he would do it, but only if they kept to the books. Because he knows how Hollywood is, and he knows that they'll just botch it all to hell and make something god awful that'll piss off every nerd out there.
That
He
was
stood
also
up for the
his
nerds.
gripe. That was also his biggest gripe whenever he was playing Superman as well.
Yep.
Is that Hollywood was just taking whatever leeway that they could with all the comics, and he's no. If I would roll, we're gonna get it right.
Yep.
Right.
Also, just don't know if you're aware, kid, but you're kind of roboting out again.
Connection. Let me see if I can fix that.
He moved from the couch to the chair.
Maybe.
I'll just kick on my Wi-Fi because I was sitting here without it on.
Would probably do it.
That would
Yep.
explain some things. So, how do you guys feel about
Well,
zombies?
it depends on which version, honestly, because now we're delving into something that could probably be like a 5 to 6 part series alone.
Oh no, it could be larger than that.
I'm just
I'm
talking
saying at least a 10
basics.
part.
Yeah,
I'm talking basics.
Yeah, let's just keep a generalized kind of overview of this.
Okay, so generalized view of zombies.
It was pretty much The Walking Dead.
Are we going to Night of the Living Dead, where the dead just rise from the ground for no apparent reason? Or are we going along the lines of The Walking Dead and Resident
Contagion.
Evil?
Like, are they contagion? Are they a specific species that has a hive mind? Like,
No, yeah, I forgot about those too.
Yep,
The
hive
zombie
mind.
overlord.
Okay. So, we're talking generalized zombie, no independent thought,
So a sham.
no
Okay, so
hive
Night of the
mind.
Living Dead.
Yep.
Kind of like a shambler, except a single bite is contagious.
So yet again, Night of the Living Dead.
They can see and hear, or they can't see
Okay,
and
so
they
the
have
most
hearing and
primal
smell.
instinct of just
Basic
pure,
of motor functions.
Yep, the most primals. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I don't hate zombies by all means, but
Zombieland.
I shut up, Crash.
I was thinking of a movie.
Well, he pitched it. That's what counts. Actually, no,
Yeah, that's true.
actually, no, I'll give that one to you, Crash. That one actually does probably hit it pretty good on the nail. Zombieland, yes, it was a comedy, but the
And they
zombies
killed Bill
themselves-
Murray.
Yep. Yep.
I
but
mean,
otherwise, they
Zombieland gives you
pretty solid.
Zombieland is a pretty good film for that. It does give you the basic run of the mill zombies,
Yep.
but
the shamblers, the big bosses.
it also ties into the fact that they are a contagion zombie.
Yeah.
Because patient zero turns.
Yep. So otherwise, zombies in themselves, I don't hate them, but
Look,
I'm
when it
mixed-
comes
I'm
to
mixed.
zombies, all we got to do is just be faster than Chapel.
And most zombies are third shift workers.
Fuck both of you assholes.
What? I'm third shift worker.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
faster
I
than
wasn't
you.
talking about that. Oh, yeah,
Depends
maybe.
on if you got
Maybe.
food dangling.
But yeah, no, zombies. I'm not really against them at all. Actually, I like a lot of. Well, I wouldn't say a lot of films, but I like a lot of stuff with them.
I do like so there was a video I had watched once. It wasn't even actually much about it wasn't the loric aspect. It was the point of view from all the cinematic makeup artists that you watched it like from the start when the first zombie came into play all the way up until the more current stuff. And I'll admit, especially from a cinematics point of view, it was amazing what they came up with for the dressing up, the makeup. Like the original zombie itself, if anyone remembers, it was just a like a gothed out person. They put a lot of white on him, or her, black rings around their eyes, and that was your first zombie. And then
Yep.
it started progressing more and more, like rotting flesh, decay, stuff like that. And it was, I definitely say from that point of view, fantastic and phenomenal.
The rotting flesh, the decay, the putrid smell.
Yep. And then the different types started coming into play. Like you'd have your shambler, your runner, your bloater, your thug. All of those different types that started
I mean,
progressing
that was
through.
that's the thing is where I like a lot of the cinematic stuff and everything else. The Walking Dead, Resident Evil, both the games and the movies. Trying to think of others real quick, but Left 4 Dead being one.
Left 4 Dead, Evil Dead. Let's not forget about the what was it? It was on Netflix. It was a show that actually wasn't too bad. It was about a guy that was experimented on while the outbreak was already happening, and he learned how to control them because he wasn't human nor zombie anymore. He was both.
I'm not sure on that one, but I mean, with
Z
that,
Nation.
you got to go into
Z Nation. That was the name of the
Z
show.
Nation.
Yep. That one was solid too, on how they made the different types happen.
That and well, I mean, the different types with that is also in Left 4 Dead's got the different types. Zombieland had different types.
Yep. You
Then
can go
also
into Dead
you
Island
throw in
video games.
you throw in the another one with Netflix. It was Daybreakers.
Yep.
Um,
Daybreakers.
a film that's a comedy film. I liked it, and it was. I mean, it's a romantic comedy / zombie film, and that was Warm Bodies.
I never did see
And that was that one is there. The world has turned into zombies, minus a few living humans. The zombies progress further into skeletal creatures, and then something happened whenever one zombie met a human girl, and she sparked something in there in his body to cause his heart to start beating again, and he reverted back from zombie back to human. So
Interesting. So did that answer your question, Chapel?
Yeah, that did.
There's a lot you can go on.
I just figured I would let you guys go, as long as you guys wanted to. But I think that covers all of our stuff
definitely
today.
showed the three major supernaturals.
okay, well, before we cut this short, I'm going to pose a question, and this question it comes from the TV show The Big Bang Theory.
Oh man.
Are zombies
God.
and mummies the same?
God damn it.
Yes. The answer is yes. They are both undead creatures. The only difference between the two of them is that mummies are brought back to life through a magical means and a magical ritual.
But if a mummy bites you, you do not become a zombie nor a mummy.
No. You're rotted from the inside out. You gain mummy dust,
Fucking trash.
and that's what you become.
Mummy dust.
Mummy dust.
He's gonna give somebody some mummy dust.
Oh Jesus.
That's not a rain cloud. I just had an orgasm.
Oh my God.
I knew that was coming. That's the reason why I kept with the mummy dust.
Wow. You bastards.
Set him up.
All right. Are we good now?
I mean,
Are you good now?
I answered your. I'm
Whoa.
good.
where are
I
we
answered
at
your
with
question.
where are we at with our Halloween spectacular here?
This is number 5. This actually finishes out our Halloween episodes.
So this
well,
is Halloween.
This is the last.
This episode comes out the day before Halloween.
Well, happy
so
Halloween,
this is
everybody.
so this is the last episode in the series.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like Ken said, happy Halloween, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Yeah. I hope you enjoy the entire series. Assuming that you're still listening.
And yet again, whenever Chapo posts the poll, let's light it up for him, folks. Let's make him watch Twilight.
Oh
And
God.
if you show up in a van, you better have some candy.
What the?
Tired of peanut brittle.
I'm tired of peanut brittle.
All right.
Oh, man.
Thank you all for listening. Like and subscribe. We will see you next time.
See y'all.
See ya.
Peace.